Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm back with another unboxing video. This time I am cracking open a box of Gatecrash. So this set is full of whammies. There's a cycle of primordials. There's a cycle of mythic guild leaders. There are the 5 shocklands from the Gatecrash guilds, of course. So a lot of sweet goodies that we're gonna find once we start opening these packs. So let's get started. All right, let's do this. Come off of that box. Boom. All right, we got Gideon and Aurelia representing. Not for long. Let's go ahead and get these packs out of the box. And let's begin. Metropolis Sprite, Smite, Slaughterhorn, Drakeman Krasis, Pit Fights. This was a very aggressive set to draft. You had to really focus on your 2-drops. You did not have time to mess around in this set. And a Molten Primordial right off the bat. We have a Commander Staple. There was a cycle of 5 of these guys. They basically all do something for each opponent that you have. They scale as you are playing a bigger and bigger multiplayer game. Cloudfin Raptor, card that didn't make much noise the first year of its existence, but was a staple in the Blue Devotion decks the following year. Frenzied Tilling, the reprint from Invasion. And Blind Obedience, the rare. Blind Obedience was mostly a sideboard card, occasionally a 1 or 2 of in main decks, in control decks of the era. It's very good against haste creatures, of which there were a lot of at the time. Stopped Thundermaw Hellkites, Falcon Wrath Aristocrats, Hell Riders, and Obsidots, which hopefully we'll find one of those later. Assault Griffin, reprinted several times now. Big fan of that card in this limited set. Crackling Perimeter, I always wanted to make that work. I never quite did. And Glaring Spotlight, the anti-hexproof sideboard card with some occasional other applications. It also can get your guys through opposing blockers. I briefly dabbled in having this card in my green-white aggro sideboard to break through pack rats. Cloudfin Raptor number 2. Kingpin's Pets. Big fan of that card as well in limited. Cinder Elemental. Another reprint, this time from, I believe, Mercadian Masks. And Fathom Mage, it looks like the rare. Fathom Mage is, again, never saw any huge constructed play. But looks like a foil Viscopa Confessor as well. Let's round that pack out. But a Commander All-Star. There are a lot of combos with Fathom Mage. It works really well with Vigor, for example. There was actually a standard combo deck that used Fathom Mage, Archangel of Thune, and Horizon Chimera. It was not very good because it required 3 separate combos across three separate creatures across 3 colors to work, but you could definitely make it work if you were really, really dedicated. Gore Clan Rampager, one of the marquee uncommons of the set. Simic Manipulator. A lot of evolve creatures in the set. This card, you kind of have to do a little too much work to actually make it relevant in constructed. Very, very good in limited, though. And we are off. Pit Fight, I think, the standout card. No, 1,000 Lashes, the standout card for draft. Then we get to Ogre Slumlord. Makes a bunch of rats whenever a creature dies, and gives all your rats Death Touch. Again, basically a bulk rare for constructed, but very much a multiplayer All-Star. Syndic of Tithe, quietly one of the best 2-drops in the set for limited. A Boros Charm, another one of the marquee uncommons, actually a combo with Gorkland Rampager. And a Breeding Pool. So, first shock land. I do enjoy the Simic colors. Alright, I'm going to start skipping past the commons here. Righteous Charge, Fortress Cyclops, Boros Elites. This card was my pick for the best card in the set when I first saw the spoiler. I was off a little bit, but this card's fine. And Unexpected Results. This card is basically a one-shot, what's the card? Mind's Desire. And there were people that tried to make fetch happen with Unexpected Results to, well, actually pretty expected results. Ali Antrazi had an Unexpected Results deck that he was playing on the Open Series for a while. Sunhome Guildmage, Hinder Vines, Burning Tree Emissary, probably the marquee uncommon of the set. And all told, maybe the actual best card in Gatecrash, Burning Tree Emissary. And Death Pact Angel. So, is that our first mythic? Yes. First mythic. Basically a bulk mythic for constructed, but huge, huge animal. Kind of unkillable if you have enough mana. Can switch back and forth between a 1/1 and a... Well, becomes a 1/1 when it dies, and the 1/1 allows you to return it to play. Ripscale Predator. Homing Lightning. Smog Elemental. Homing Lightning was a card that I always thought was going to see playing constructed, but it just never showed up. Spark Trooper. Spark Trooper, kind of the heir to Ball Lightning. I think a lot of people had higher hopes for Spark Trooper. I remember right when Gatecrash came out, there were some base red splashing white aggro decks that were trying to Spark Trooper people, but just never really took off. Again, had to compete for space for half of its standard tenure with Falcon Wrath Aristocrat and Hell Rider, so just too tough a crowd, really. Boros Keyrune, Debtor's Pulpit, the only answer in the entire block to a resolved Aetherling. Fun fact. Of course, Aetherling hadn't been printed yet when this was first printed. And a Gruul Rage Beast. Whenever Gruul Rage Beast or another creature enters the battlefield, that creature fights target creature an opponent controls. So if you are ahead, you stay ahead, basically, is how that works. Again, mostly a bulk rare for constructed, but very powerful effect in both limited and multiplayer. Skullcrack. Demira Keyrune, Mind Eye Drake, and Bio Visionary. Beginning of your end step, if you control 4 Bio Visionaries, you win the game. It's another card that a lot of people spent a lot of time and energy trying to make work. It never really showed up as like an actual tier 1 or even tier 2, I would say, thing in constructed. Although I hold out hope. There's definitely a card that might end up mattering in Eternal formats one of these days. Voidwalker, or Voidwalk, Ground Assault, Knight of Obligation, Master Biomancer, and a foil Bane Alley Broker to tie the room together. Master Biomancer, I believe our second mythic. Another card that never really took off. It was actually the first version of Prime Speaker Bant that I ever got to play with was a version built by Tomohiro Saito and Gerard Fabiano. And they had 4 Master Biomancer in the deck, which I ended up cutting. It didn't quite make the cut, but it was a pretty powerful effect. In later standard years, people tried splashing it in their Mono Blue Devotion decks because of its combination with Master of Waves. As it turns out, you don't need other cards to make Master of Waves good. So Master of Biomancer didn't quite make the cut there either. Sapphire Drake, Urban Evolution, Mind Eye Drake, Assemble the Legion. I top 8'd a Pro Tour with that card. I had one in my main deck and another in my sideboard of the Jeskai, although it was just called Blue, White, Red Control back then. The Jeskai deck that I played at Pro Tour, Dragon's Face. Demir Charm, Probably the worst of the charms, although it is seeing some fringe play. Serene Remembrance, Hellraiser Goblin, and Abzadat, Ghost Council. Kaboom. So that is the first of the 5 guild leaders that we are going to collect all 5 of in this box. I can feel it. This is probably, during its time in Standard, this was probably the most valuable card in the set, outside of, I guess, Domri Raid was probably better, but this card is very, very difficult to kill. It is in exile during your opponent's turn, so your opponent basically can't kill it with sorceries, and it ends the game real fast. Just all in all, a super powered card. 1,000 Lashes, Murder Investigation, Hold the Gates, and Cryptcast. Cryptcast, I think, a card that kind of vaguely threatened to make Mono Black a thing a year ahead of schedule. Zamek Guildmage, Aetherize. Huge fan of Aetherize in both limited and actually in constructed. Crown Ceratok and Immortal Servitude. Return each creature with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. There are fringe combo decks left and right that try to abuse this card. I've never seen one actually win a tournament or kind of make its mark in a tier 1 sense. But again, it's one of those cards that's just waiting to happen in Eternal formats, I think. Scar Guildmage, another Skullcrack, Duskmantle Guildmage, and Realmwright. As Realmwright enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Lands you control are the chosen type. A fixer that Blue never really needed and never really tried. But basically just a bulk rare, but again, a card that always felt like it may end up seeing some use down the line. Merfolk of the Depths, Murder Investigation, the Ishino Shanktail, Hellkite Tyrant. So that's Mythic number 3. This was just a big ol' animal. Flying Trample, when Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage, gain control of all artifacts that player controls, and you win the game if you have 20 or more artifacts. So mostly kind of a casual card, kind of a weird build around me. I have never heard of anyone winning the game with Hellkite Tyrant's actual, if you do this win the game rules text. I have heard of several draft games won by Hellkite Tyrant attacking for 6 in the air. Rule Key Rune, Throll Parasite, Killing Glare. Borborgimos, Enraged, Bobby G, as they call him in the industry. So that is Guild Leader number 2. We're still missing 3, including my personal favorite, but pretty excited about a Borborgimos as well. Another commander staple, and this guy actually saw some use as a win condition in Reanimator decks during his time in Standard. Most of the graveyard enablers in that Standard format filled up your hand with lands, incidentally, so by the time you got them in play, you could usually just throw them at your opponent for like 12 damage or something. Gift of Orzhova, Tower Defense, White of Precinct 6, and Legion Loyalists, and Foil World Charm as well. Legion Loyalists had its day in the sun, I think. It was just absolutely always in the mono red aggro decks in block constructed, and spent some time in and some time out of the red aggro decks in Standard the following year. Tom Ross did some pretty good work with it in his Boss Sly deck. Rust Scarab, Gridlock, probably to this day the only Magic card about traffic. Gruul Charm, and Ooze Flux. Ooze Flux was one of those cards that just, you don't realize what all you can do with it until you get one in play, especially in Limited. A lot of weird combos, a lot of wacky hijinks you can get up to with an Ooze Flux. Merfolk of the Depths, Dying Wish, Boros Elite number 2, and Signal the Clans. This card seems like there's a lot of potential for it to be broken. It is a tutor that costs 2 mana, but giving your opponent the choice of 3 cards just doesn't work out in your favor most of the time. So, again, has yet to see any significant constructed play, but one of those cards that just is hanging out, waiting to cause some trouble in Modern or possibly Legacy. Got another Rampager, a Hindervines, Orzhov Keyrune, and Illusionist's Bracers. So this card, I am told, is a Commander All-Star. Whenever equipped creature is activated, if it isn't an ability of equipped creature is activated, if it isn't a man ability, copy that ability. I'm not sure what all you can do to abuse that. Well, I have several ideas, but I'm not sure what the kind of the marquee thing to do with that is. But there are a lot of potential shenanigans, that's for sure. Keyrune, Serene Remembrance, another Keyrune, and another Illusionist Bracers. What am I supposed to do with 2 of them? It's a commander card, right? I guess I have to build a second commander deck. Alright. Foil versus Strength to top off that pack. Arrows of Justice, Ripscale Predator, Bane Alley Broker, Clan Defiance. This is probably the best card in the set for Limited. Just an X spell that you get to use as many as 3 times. And a foil Scatter Arc. Clan Defiance never really saw play outside of like the occasional 1-ofs in the green-red monsters decks. It is no Crater's Claws, I don't think. Debtor's Pulpit, Orzhov Charm, our first Orzhov Charm. Knight of Obligation, and Thespian Stage. I caught a flash there. I saw that it was a land, and I got pretty excited. It was not a shock land, but still a relevant and playable land. Thespian Stage, of course, mostly known for its combination with Dark Depths in Legacy. If you copy Dark Depths with Thespian Stage, it is immediately a Dark Depth with 0 counters on it, and you immediately get a 20/20. It has also seen some play in conjunction with Cloud Post and Glimmer Post, as it counts as a locus once you copy them as well. Agoraphobia, one of the weirdest, another of the weirdest card names in the set. Urbis Protector, Undercity Informer, Angelic Skirmisher. Okay, I take it back. This is probably the actual best card in the set for Limited. This card, basically unbeatable in a draft deck. But never really saw any interest in constructed that I can recall, anyway. Yeah, Dimir Charm, a Dying Wish, Crown Ceratok, Sacred Foundry, Shockland number 2. So we are 2 of the 5 Shocklands and 2 of the 5 Guild Leaders. I'm holding out hope for a Prime Speaker Zegana. That's my favorite card in this set. Maybe my favorite card actually of all time. Huge fan of Prime Speaker Zegana, and I want one of my very own in this set, or out of this box. Vizkopa Confessor, Simic Charm, Undercity Informer, Consuming Aberration. Okay, maybe Consuming Aberration was the best rare in the set for Limited. I don't know. They were all really good. Consuming Aberration is just bonkers in a draft deck. Foil Death Cult Rogue. Let's round that pack out. And Call the Nightwing, Sapphire Drake, Incursion Specialists, High Priest of Penance. High Priest of Penance was kind of a fringe playable card in Standard. It saw some play out of sideboards and Esper control decks, and sometimes out of the black-white and the Mardu that we didn't call Mardu at the time decks. Vizkopa Guildmage, Cartel Aristocrats. First one of those we've seen. One of the centerpieces of the Aristocrats deck during its tenure in Standard. Experiment 1, another one of the marquee uncommons of the set. That's the first one of those we've seen, I believe, as well. And Stomping Ground. Ooh, and a foil Sylvan Primordial. So 3 of 5 Shocklands now is very exciting. And I believe 2 of 5 Primordials, including a foil. Normally that would be very exciting for Commanders. I know Commander players love their foils. The problem is they banned this one. This one was too good. So I'm not really sure what you can do with a Sylvan Primordial anymore, outside of maybe your not Commander, but just kind of your casual multiplayer games and things. I don't play enough Commander to know exactly why this was banned. My understanding is that it was too degenerate in conjunction with clone effects, of which there are a lot of in Commander. General of Horror, Aetherize, Guardian of the Gateless, and Foundry Champion. Kind of a Flame Tongue Kavu on steroids. Huge effect in limited. Kind of a bulk rare for constructed. Not counting towards any of our goals in terms of finding Shocklands or finding guild leaders. We got 3 packs left. I know Prime Speaker Zegana is hiding back there somewhere. Nimbus Swimmer. He swims in the air, which never made much sense to me. Orderin Veteran, Hellraiser Goblin, and Scar Goliath. The old +9/+9 and Trample Blood Rush guy. I have stolen some games in limited with that guy. 2 packs remaining. Another Boros Charm. Sweet. Righteous Charge. Wasteland Viper. Yeah. Diluvian Primordial. So we have a red, green, and blue Primordial out of this box. Diluvian Primordial. Absurd in limited. Absurd in multiplayer. Probably wouldn't be bad in actual standard, or probably not good enough for modern, but probably should have seen more play than it did in standard, to be honest. Dimir Charm. Homing Lightning. Smaug Elemental. Prime Speaker Zegana. Right under... That's black. No, it's a Sepulchral Primordial. So 4 of the 5 Primordials to round things out. Definitely a sweet box for multiplayer aficionados. Unfortunately, I did not find the card that I was looking for, which was a Prime Speaker Zegana, but still a pretty reasonable haul here. All right, so yeah, on the whole, this was a pretty reasonable box. We got 3 of the 5 Shocklands, 4 of the 5 Primordials. We got an Obsidian, which I'm very excited about, along with 4 other Mythics. So on the whole, I'm pretty happy with the haul here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video. Click the like button here. Make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button here. Talk back to me in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this box way down there. And check out some of our other unboxing videos, which are on my left, your right. They're over here. I am in some of these as well over here. I know I unboxed the entire Return to Ravnica block, so make sure you check them out. Again, I'm Andrew Shrout, and thanks for watching.